Hey everybody, Stu here, coming at you again with another album review. And this time, my brother Brennan and I are going to be talking about Ride the Lightning, famous Metallica album that has shaped the metal community. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over each individual song, and then we're going to talk about what the album meant to us and to the metal world ever since its release. So this album starts off with a fast song that has a slow start. It's a very classical, 12-string acoustic sounding.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 da, da, da. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that, and it's a great way to bring it, because after Kill 'Em All and how fast that was.
Well, right. We got to remember, this album is just album 2.
Right.
Our only exposure to this point of Metallica is Kill 'Em All. This fast, in-your-face thrash metal, welcome to thrash album. Then you're like, wow, this thing's got a lightning bolt, electric chair on the album. You throw in Fight Fire with Fire, and it starts off classical.
Right.
And you're sitting here kind of going, what's the deal here?
And then it fades away. And then you get the electric guitar swell.
Yep.
You get the volume swell. You get the... And you're like, oh, here we fucking go.
Yep.
And it's very aggressive compared to Kill 'Em All, which is very more party, thrash, punk.
Absolutely.
Let's fuck this shit up. Tear it all down. Let's get drunk as fuck and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you're hit with this super aggressive, chromatic riff.
Yeah.
And
let's not completely forget here. What I love about the beginning of this album is it's really starting to show that Metallica really, truly are the kings of super melodic, kind of that classical flair into their music, and then just hitting you in the face with which is hard riffing as they possibly can. James, without a doubt, is the riff king. He knows how to write a riff better than anybody else on this planet, in my mind. But their musicality together with Kirk and coming together and making that beautiful intro just shows that they're also very talented.
Right. And musically they were talented, and that they were going to be just fine without Dave Mustaine. And they can do it on their own, especially between James and Lars being the primary songwriters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so fast-paced. It doesn't end. And then James singing at a lower key than what he normally does. Do unto others as they've done to you. It's so heavy. And then you have that frantic pre-chorus riff.
Yes.
That, no one knows how to play properly but James and Kirk. Other than that, no one knows what the fuck. Fight fire with fire. Brrr, ending is near. Brrr, fight fire with fire. Brrr, bursting with fear. We also die. Oh, that's great.
It's that's
great.
It's that little bit right there that just kind of that just ties it. Then they knew that, and they know
it. It just brings it all together, and just that it's kind of like Damage.
It's kind of like the Damage Incorporated,
which they'll use later on, but that whole we also die.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute callback in Damage Incorporated, and that's why I love all of that.
This song is also great for the guitar solo and the solo work that you're going to hear from Kirk Hammett, and how he's starting to. He's starting to come in to be one of the best metal guitarists of all time.
Well, my thing is that, because in Kill 'Em All, the majority of the songs in that album were written by Mustaine. He's kind of replicating Mustaine and not so much being Kirk Hammett.
Right, I feel like he wanted to do his own thing, but at the same time...
He had to kind of stay true.
I don't know if he felt like he had to pay homage to Mustaine at all, or something, but
I'm sure he was aware of the situation.
But I can also get the sense that Kirk was trying to prove something. Like, hey, I can play fast.
Oh, absolutely.
We're young. We're doing this. We're gonna hit it hard.
He does.
Here we
great.
go.
He does great in Kill 'Em All. However, I do think Ride the Lightning is right where he shined. He knew
Right.
what to do. He was being, I'm Kirk Hammett. I'm not a Dave Mustaine ripoff. I have my own tone, my own sound.
Right.
This is me. I'm going to
And-
gain my nickname, The Ripper, and everyone's going to know who I am.
Right. And the second track, which is the title track, Ride the Lightning, is a fantastic song. It's very long. Not the longest song.
Is not the longest
You would
song.
think it would be the longest song, but we'll get to that in just a couple of tracks. But it's actually the third longest song.
I personally think Ride the Lightning is the quintessential Metallica formula. That song is screaming what Metallica is all about.
You know what I love? You know what I love about that song?
What's that?
Is the intro.
Yeah.
And hearing Cliff Burton thump the shit out of that fucking E string. I love it. And just hearing that boom, boom, boom. You know Cliff was loving that shit in the studio. You know he was fucking boom, 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 boom. Oh.
With everything he's got. And that song still remains highly on their set lists today.
Yep.
It usually is played like third or fourth on their set lists.
Or even if it's not played in its entirety, it's still part of a medley of songs.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
will forever
It's a great
be.
song, and I love the riff that leads into the guitar solo.
Yes.
It's simple, but so effective, and it's huge. That bam, ba ba bam, ba ba bam, and bam. Then it goes into that sick tapping thing that Kirk does. And
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the perfect song to those who don't know Metallica, which is going to be surprising nowadays. But for those people who really don't know Metallica, Ride the Lightning, you couldn't get more Metallica. The writing is beautiful. It's melodic. It's riff heavy as hell. The vocals are through the roof.
Right.
James is talking literally about someone being electrocuted in the chair.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
Awesome.
it's just awesome through and through. You hear Cliff, you hear Lars, you hear James, you hear Kirk. Everyone is 100% represented in that song.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it's great. I love that song. And then you go from that, and you go from a song. You know, James had a real way of writing lyrics and singing them back when he could scream, you know, waken by your scream.
Yeah.
Free from this frightening dream. You know, and then a good way of bring it kind of down a little bit to For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yes.
You know, and which is the third track, which starts off with the classic dun, the bell ringing, which will forever fuck people up when you're at a sporting event or something, because you don't know if it's going to be
AC/DC.
For Whom the Bell Tolls or if it's going to be Hell's Bells.
Yeah, you don't
know. And then after a few dings, if I don't hear the da-da-da-da-da, then I know that we got AC/DC coming.
Which is not a knock on that song, because that song in itself is awesome.
That's awesome.
But no, For Whom the Bells Toll is just... I mean, I understand. I think it's actually inspired off the book.
The book, yeah.
The Boom from the Bells
Directly.
Tolls.
Yep.
Directly from that book.
Yep.
Which I've read.
Aren't you smart?
No, I'm not. And what I really, really, really love about that song is that it's really simple, but they're using...
It's simple musically and technically.
But technically, it's hard. It's a fairly long song. It's not too long. I do remember learning this song as one of the first songs I probably learned on guitar. Right. But it's so powerful. And I think, personally, has one of the catchiest choruses that you can probably find in Metallica's catalog.
One of them.
Absolutely. That whole... Oh,
yeah.
That is so fucking catchy and hooky.
Yeah. It's great. And the way they orchestrate... What I love... The second thing I love about that is the lyrics.
Absolutely.
And the weaving, the rhyming scheme, and everything, how well the lyrics are written. I love that.
Yep.
But I think my most favorite part of For Whom the Bell Tolls isn't from the song itself, but it's from Cliff 'Em All. And I think it's called The Day on the Green.
It's the
from
day, yeah.
1985 when they're playing that, and Cliff is in there, and he's
going,
doing the intro.
Oh my God, he's going apeshit.
And then when he starts doing the, and he's headbanging and perfect, but the wind is blowing perfectly, like away from him, but it's still covering his face, and he's just
oh, absolutely
going on.
Yeah,
It's like that is awesome. Like that is great. But that intro is also a great inclusion or utility of Cliff Burton.
Yeah. Which, surprisingly enough, a lot of people get wrong. They don't hear all the notes that's being played in that intro. It's not da-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na. It's da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. There are little bits. If you listen to Cliff playing it, though, he's doing these little tones.
Well, he was always changing things.
He's always doing these little things, which makes it sound so much more powerful to me.
Yeah.
When Cliff does it. And the only person so far I've actually heard that's really been able to replicate it right was Trujillo. Even Newstead couldn't do it as well.
I don't think it's couldn't. I think Newstead wanted to do it.
He was being different.
Put his own little flair on it.
He was being different.
But then again, Newstead played with a pick.
Right. He was a different. He's a different bass player.
Trujillo's a finger player, just
and
like
Cliff
Burton was. So he's got that tonality and stuff.
And he can get it. And I love that. And my favorite thing, what I love so much about Ride the Light, not Ride the Light, but From the Bells Tolls, outside of all of their other acts or other songs, they have that in their live show nowadays so perfectly choreographed.
Yes.
That is one of the most exciting things to watch live. When we were at that show and they do, the whole thing where the lights go down and the whole house goes down and they bring it right back up and all that energy.
It's the last time you will. Rock and raw, massive raw. Yeah.
They hit that so. You could tell it's been years of day to day. They've been doing that over again. They're masters at it. The song is so old to the point where they're just kind of it's just kind of muscle memory with them. But they still have fun playing it. It's fun for the audience. I love this song. Love seeing it live. And I don't know what more to say about it.
And the way that it ends, and bring it. It's perfect for the album and it's perfect live because live, that's a way for Kirk to go into a solo of his own, give the rest of the members a break. But it's also on the album, it's good to calm everything down.
Yeah.
How it kind of wanes and goes down because what's up next is another metal staple, which is Fade to Black.
Fade to Black.
Where it comes, which is where a Kirk Hammett shines. And this is where I say that Kirk Hammett is one of the best metal guitar players of all time because granted, not the most technical.
No.
Granted, not the fastest. Granted, not the best sweet picker. Granted, I know, I understand.
You don't need
You don't need it. You don't need all those tools. Plus, Kirk Hammett never went around saying that he was the best guitarist of all time. No. But you know what he was really good at and what I really appreciate in a musician and in a guitarist? He wrote for the song.
Yes.
He wrote what the song needed. And Fade to Black,
that's it.
That intro solo, holy shit.
I will say.
Can you listen to the beat? Can you, honestly, even if you're a Kirk Hammett hater, can you listen to without hearing he was really locking in that point as a lead guitar player. He was really locking into, I know when to speed up. I know when to slow down. I can catch on to a melody and really go with it.
In my mind, a true departure from the Kill 'Em All, where he was just going fast as he possibly could, to really, the guitar became his voice.
Yes.
In that. And he was really speaking through the guitar in the fade to black intro. Mind you, this is just the intro we're talking about
Right.
here. We're not even talking about the rest of the album or the rest of the song for that matter. And this song is so powerful, and the intro with that intro lead is so powerful. It just begs for more.
And then that transition at the end of the solo, the
again,
and then it goes straight into the and I've actually read on a couple articles that there were people back then in 1984. I wasn't born yet. You weren't born yet.
I was nowhere close to being born yet.
And people were saying that Metallica sold out then.
Yeah.
In 84.
Yeah.
On Ride the Lightning, they sold out because they had Fade to Black on there. It's like, dude, look. This is a band that's going to play what they feel regardless of what the fuck anybody else... Like, look, that's what they were feeling at the time. That's what James was feeling at the time. They honestly thought that their musical career was at an end. They had all their shit stolen.
Yep.
All of their gear was stolen. They were getting ready to go to Europe. And all their shit is gone.
Yep.
They don't know how they're going to do this. Their dream has literally been stolen. But out of that came such an epic metal song.
Yeah.
That every metal fan out there can sing along to.
Yep.
That every metal fan can sit there, especially like one of the best riffs of all time, that epic ending riff. No one but me can save myself, but it's too late. Oh, that...
I will say
awesome.
This thing is so powerful. I mean, I remember learning Fade to Black. It was probably after learning Seek and Destroy. I decided I'm going to learn Fade to Black. And that was the first lead I've ever learned, was the intro lead to Fade to Black.
Yeah.
And that will forever be ingrained into my brain just because of how long I've been playing it. I mean,
I'll never forget the intro solo.
No, the intro rhythm part, the intro lead part. I mean, that entire song is just 100% ingrained because its impact is incredible. I can't speak highly enough about Fade to Black. One of the best Metallica songs you could probably find.
And then we go from such an epic ending and an epic outro solo, like it's. I know we've talked about the intro solo a lot. The outro solo is great on Fade to Black.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that fades away, and then it goes into Trapped Under Ice, which is a very fast-paced song. Well,
this is kind of going back to like the Kill 'Em All style.
Yeah, that's how I think. Like this is more thrashier. This is more writing a single note, playing it super fast. I don't know how to live through this hell. Woken up, I'm so locked in the shell.
Well, right. This is what's really happening. So I believe that the first half of the song of this album, which is fantastic, it's masterful, is kind of a new direction for Metallica. They're showing they've matured as a band, and then Trapped Under Ice really is that kind of homage to where they came from, because really, I mean, I don't think they ever knew they were going to become the biggest band of metal history.
Nah, they were just doing what they wanted.
They were doing exactly what they want, and you know what? Throw some thrash in there. Why not? They're the kings of it. Might as well throw it in there. Yep. I love Trapped Under Ice just out of the fact that, it's kind of an homage to their first album, which is kind of
Still
funny.
haven't seen that played live, and I would love to see that played live.
Yes.
So Metallica, next time you come to Chicago, play Trapped Under Ice. Please, please. I would love to see you guys play that shit live. That is such a great song, and the idea, and again, that this is James Hetfield getting into an idea that hasn't personally happened to him. But I don't know if it's a metaphor for something bigger or something like that, but it's such a great song from the verse to to the chorus.
This is where I really think because James, outside of people like Phil Anselmo, would be regarded as probably one of the best lyricists
One of them.
of all time. The
One of
things
them.
he can come up with and the things he can write about is incredible. And just a concept of being trapped under ice. I mean,
To
he
have
really
that kind
has
of
happen.
mind to read
Yeah.
a book or to think about a concept and then put yourself into that situation and then write about it that's a creative mind on
absolutely.
another level.
Absolutely.
It is. It truly is. And then you go from Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah.
And now you're going to go to probably the least known Metallica song of them all.
Yeah, I was just about to say that you couldn't get deeper into the catalog of Metallica, into some deep tracks.
Escape.
Escape.
Now, I actually covered this with a few friends of mine. We got hired to play a birthday party or something. This was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago or something. And we decided to cover Escape. I love the song. I think it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not... It's kind of like not a Metallica song, if that makes sense. But I like it. We decided to cover it. I brought it to the other guys, and they were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, no, man, it could be cool, you know? It's stuff like there's a heavy part at the end, you know? See them try to bring the hammer down. And it's just like, no, we could do this. So we did it. And it was really cool. I mean, it's a cool song, but at the same time, it's kind of not a Metallica song. It's kind of more like a teenage rebellion, out for my own, out to be free.
Yep.
It's like,
But my thing with that song is like, I'm kind of going back to even what I said with Kill 'Em All. Even the worst songs from Metallica would be a terrible band's best song.
Right.
You could cover Escape, no one would know that's a Metallica song and would think you're going to get big. Until they realize that's a cover and they go, holy shit, that was great.
Yep.
Like, Escape...
It's like, dude, that's a great song for you guys. That fucking sucked for Metallica.
Right.
The fuck were they thinking?
I agree, it's a little kind of out of place for Metallica, but regardless...
It's a little out of place, and I know that they, especially James, not the biggest fan. I'm sure that looking back, they may have had something better in the works.
No, but I mean, but here's my thing. I think they absolutely make up for it. Because Escape is a great song, but maybe not necessarily Metallica. But then right up next is going to be Creeping Death.
Which is one of the greatest metal songs ever written.
Yeah.
I fucking love Creeping Death. I will always love Creeping Death. You can never convince me of anything other than that. Creeping Death is a... There's no such thing as a perfect song.
No.
But Creeping Death gets awfully close to being a perfect fucking song.
And what I love about Creeping Death is that the riff on it is fairly simple, but it's... I
struggled to learn that.
But you know why? But you know why? It's not because the riff is difficult. It's
that timing.
It's the rhythm. It's the timing. It's that ridiculous down-picking hand that James is synonymous for. That song is why James Hetfield is who he is.
Right.
Is because he can down-pick faster and better and more in time than the most people on this planet.
And Hetfield shines through with the lyrics on this song. How biblical this is, and him telling that story. Yep. And I love slaves, Hebrews born to serve. To the Pharaoh, reap to his every word.
Live in fear.
Well, that's
you gotta
live.
Hit the yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Live in fear.
But no, I absolutely agree. You cannot beat the riff. You can't beat the solo. You can't beat the...
Oh, the solo's perfect.
The
solo's fucking perfect.
And then you get to the part, which we already got a taste of the stuff they can do in like Ride to Lightning and Fade to Black, kind of throwing it back down to a slower tempo and kind of giving you this really fist-pounding feel.
Right.
And they just maxed it out. It's on steroids now with Creeping Death.
Right.
Die! You know, and they just do that. And I will say, when we saw them live, again, another perfect example of their choreography. Their choreographing for this song is perfect.
Right.
Everyone in the stadiums, and we went there, we saw it at Soldier Field, which can house thousands of people, and everyone doing this. It's so
getting
powerful.
everybody to yell die.
Yeah.
Die. 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 Ooh, die.
Yeah.
By my hand.
I creep across the land, killing firstborn man. Motherfucker, die!
Oh, that's
They don't
old.
really.
I know, they don't do that anymore.
They don't really swear anymore, which kind of sucks. But I mean, growing up, living, watching that, was it the binge? What was the fuck was that thing called?
Oh, live shit, binge and purge.
Yeah, I grew up watching all that.
I bought
shit.
that box set a long time ago, where they had the Seattle in '89. Then they had the Black Album. I can't remember what town that was, but then they also had Cunning Stunts.
I remember Cunning Stunts. That was the other big one I watched.
So, but then Load had come out by then, and
we'll get to Load. That's more my era.
But then you have Creeping Death, which to me is I fucking love Creeping Death. That is a great
Absolutely
fucking song. Love it from beginning to end. That song is the shit. It's the second to last song, and then they're gonna bring it into the last song, which is they're an epic instrumental.
Which, though, I mean,
Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, or Cthulhu. Yeah, if you watch South Park. What a fucking ear strain on you. The type of acrobatics you have to just kind of sit and listen to during that song, because of the shit they can pull. Again, another just perfect example that they are 100% talented. They're all very well versed in their instruments.
All of them.
They know what they're doing, and they just kind of take you on this journey. And you can really feel, in my mind, with the riffs that are coming up, like Cthulhu is just coming up from the earth and coming up from the oceans and stuff like that, trying to attack the world. I mean, they're giving you that sense.
That it's great, and you cannot claim to be a fan of music if you say you need lyrics and a singer to appreciate any kind of music. Like, if you can't appreciate music, then don't call yourself a music fan. You know, and Call of Cthulhu is such a great movement of music. It's so good at making you feel like something's coming, something's boiling, something's going to happen. You know, like Call of Cthulhu. Cthulhu's coming. You know, and we all know what he's capable of. We all know what is going to happen if he truly does come. Yeah, exactly. And then the clean tones, the dirty riffs, the solos, the everything that builds up to this without a single word being said. You get that sense of, oh shit, something's coming. A lot of minor movements, some major movements.
And this is what I love about it, because I mean, listening to a lot of classical music as well, and like symphonies and orchestras, they are doing the exact same thing, just with violins, violas, and things like that.
And I think a lot of that was Cliff Burton.
And because Cliff Burton was classically trained. He knew about all that stuff, and like, this is a perfect example of taking a metal band and really voicing each person in almost a symphony level, and explaining in music how one was to feel about an event. And the fact that this is the Call of Cthulhu. Cthulhu's gonna come. He gonna fuck shit up. And what I love about this song is that not only is it a great way to end Ride the Lightning, they reprise the concept of Cthulhu coming in later albums.
Right.
And I think this is just the genius of James Hetfield. And he's done this with multiple songs. But he's coming back a few albums later. He's going to talk about Cthulhu. He's going to talk about kind of like, almost a reprise of like Creeping Death styled music.
Right.
And they really start coming back with that stuff. And like, they don't really leave things out. They always remember what they've done in the past and then build on those topics. And I just love it.
Yeah. And the impact it had, I mean, the first Metallica song I ever heard was Ride the Lightning. I remember hearing Ride the Lightning and thinking, what the fuck? Like, this isn't what I've always heard. This isn't what I'm hearing on
Right.
the radio, at the time, which was, early 90s and stuff. Like, this isn't, like, what the fuck is this? And I gravitated towards that because this is visceral. This
Yeah.
is real. We're talking about death. We're talking about electrocution. We're
Yeah.
And the guitar tones and everything was just so, like, this is what I need to get into now. Like, this will help me focus. I need to play guitar now. Like, if I can do
Yeah.
this with guitar and music, I need to do it to help focus my own, issues or my own anger, and
Right.
I can focus it and send it out into the world and hopefully help other people the way that helped me. And
Right.
I think that's what makes it one of the best metal albums of all
And
time.
that's exactly what happened to me. I mean, I remember the first song I really heard off of it was "For Whom the Bells Toll," and that was the one of the first bands I ever joined as a stupid teenager. I literally that was the song we covered nonstop.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's so
it's a classic cover.
It's so classic
cover.
and so awesome. I love that. And then Fade to Black, that was the one that I think got me more technical, just kind of learning the styles of Kirk Hammett.
Fade to Black was the first song I ever played on guitar. It was the intro.
We haven't gotten there yet. I can tell you what my first song is, but it's off another album. But I haven't gotten there yet.
We'll get there.
But Fade to Black is definitely, I think, if not the second, at least the third one. No, I without a doubt find Ride the Lightning one of the best albums you'll probably find. And to think, this album only took Metallica 3 weeks to write. I mean, that much genius.
Well, it came a year after Kill 'Em All.
Right. It came
and they had
exactly
grown so much into writing fast, thrashy, let's fuck shit up songs into large, epic songs. Is very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of leap from
And
Kill 'Em All to Ride the Lightning.
We also gotta look at like kind of what you were talking about, just the quality of songs we're dealing with here, and to take that much time in the studio, every minute, every hour, if you've ever been in the studio, is precious, and you can't lose any of that time. And to take 3 weeks and to make such a masterpiece like Ride the Lightning is 100% impressive, and it will forever be one of Metallica's greatest achievements.
Exactly. I think that sums it up pretty well. And that's our review of Metallica's Ride the Lightning. Catch us on the next album review. Peace.